And you're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Abs with Doodling with Crispy, and today we are going to be drawing cryptids. I am Crispy Kraut, Shit Poster General, and with me I have Storm Song again.
Bon Tag.
And I am going to start with one of my favorites, the Mothman. Are you familiar with the Mothman?
Roughly speaking, like I've not done a deep study, but I've heard parts of it. It's mostly like when people see him, it's a bad omen, right?
Something like that, yeah. Basically, it's a lot of it has to do with, like, he's apparently some sort of harbinger of disaster.
Yeah. Kind of somewhat prophetic.
Something like that, yeah. And I'm doing this a different way than I normally do, because it's kind of based off of... I've actually done a bunch of Mothman doodles before. So, I'm trying something a bit different today in terms of how I'm doing this.
Yes.
Ah, shit. My eraser's too soft. Oh, maybe it's not. There we go. That worked.
So, what else can you tell us of this mothiest of men?
Well, it was, I believe, I forget what state Mothman was in, but basically the whole thing where it started was, he just started showing up around this TNT plant. That's where people first saw him, and weirdly enough, people were getting pink eye and shit. But, he, basically, there was a lot of, like, weird activity with that. There was, like, a lot of Men in Black stuff or whatever, if you know what those guys are. It's more than just the Will Smith movie. And basically the whole thing culminated with the collapse of the Silver Lake Bridge. I think it's West Virginia, I want to say. Actually, that would make sense, because I think he's in Fallout.
It's West Virginia. I just pulled it up on Wikipedia. Wikipedia never lies.
No, it does not. Certainly not. I actually like the one possible theory as to what Mothman was, which I heard from a podcast, was that it was possibly a paratrooper, like special forces training with a halo jump, and people saw like the lights and everything and just assumed it was, and you know, obviously the giant parachute, and just thought, oh god, it's Mothman, when it might have just been just some like army ranger or whoever just like fucking with people. That's got to be the fun part when you're in the military and you do stuff like that. You just get to mess with civilians who just don't know what's going on.
Yep.
It's like
finally I'm getting paid to do what I did all of my childhood.
I love the one story from when we were first developing jet fighters, and in order to keep things like classic covert that we were making something like this, because this was like in the middle of World War II, I think. The pilot would dress up in a gorilla suit.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
I love it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. You know what? I don't like the way these legs look. Let me do them. I am so glad that undo buttons are a thing.
Aw, yes.
Do we have anyone in chat right now, by chance?
Do we? Hate.exe. Hello, Hate.
Hello.
The P-59 Air Comet R first jet.
Okay. I forgot what the name of it was.
Also, he says Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Yes.
Okay.
That's what the...
That's the name of the town. I couldn't remember.
Thank you for reminding me. I forget we have a chat sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Hello, chat. Sorry for forgetting about you. You're just so quiet.
It's almost like you can't talk or something. Do you have any favorite cryptids by chance, Storm?
That's a good question. It's like, okay, it's this weird, I have an unfavorite, as it were,
Oh?
in that I thought it was actually a really cool thing, but then there was all the, bullshit surrounding it. Which was, early on the stuff about, what's it called? Uh, Slender Man.
Ah!
But in part it was because there was a game series in which there was a creature called the Tall Man that predates Slenderman by like a year or two in terms of, the meme version of Slenderman. And I always got the distinct feeling that Slenderman like ripped it off.
It's
But
very possible, but I don't
then
know.
like the whole Slenderman thing with the kids killing each other was just like,
Oh, they didn't kill. Nobody died from that. It was, but a girl did get stabbed. Basically, it was
yeah.
it was these two girls that one I think was schizophrenic or something, and yeah, somehow they got twisted things, and I think there's like an actual like documentary on it or something, which is interesting.
That
But
set of actual cryptids, I would say Loch Ness Monster.
it's a solid choice. Good old Nessie.
Yeah.
Ah.
I think the
See,
one I know
I
the
keep-
most... Oh, you first.
No, you're fine. I was going to say, I keep wanting to say something about aliens, but I don't know if aliens are necessarily considered cryptids unless it's like... Depends on your views of the chupacabra.
Wait, explain that one.
Like, there's...
I know what
there's some,
chupacabra is, but what do you mean by depends on your views on it?
There's the... Did you know there's a Puerto Rican chupacabra, first of all? It's not just Texas and Mexico. Puerto Rico apparently has their own version of the chupacabra. And one of the theories as to where it came from or what it is has to do with aliens, that there's some sort of like crashed crew or something, which is, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily believe that one. That's a little out there for me, but it's interesting all the same. Bigfoot's pretty fun, though. I do like Bigfoot. Can't go wrong with him. He's basically just like a wise mountain man, a dickhead.
I really like the SCP version of Bigfoot.
I didn't even know there. See, I'm not too familiar with the SCP universe, other than like some of the game, just playing like, I think it was Secret Laboratories, the multiplayer game.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, that's really
yeah.
that was kind of
No,
my exposure to SCP.
Yeah. No, in SCP, Bigfoot is the remains of a pre-flood race that nearly wiped out mankind.
Wow, you know what? It's funny you say that because that's actually like a theory about giant humanoids.
Yeah. Coming from the religious side of things, like, there are a lot of people that believe that that's what the Nephilim in the Bible are, and
yeah, like the Book of Enoch, I think, was the one that was removed where it has a lot of references to that sort of thing.
yeah, the books of the giants and things like that.
Which makes you think, Mm-hmm.
Well, we do know for a fact that there were, of the various pre-humanoids or pre-humans, as Homo sapien was becoming a thing, that there were species that were larger than we are now. Whether or not that constitutes giant is, a matter of some debate.
Mm-hmm.
But race where the average height is,
Yeah.
7 feet tall or something like that.
I believe there were accounts of Native Americans from, explorers that came here where they were about that height, which is interesting because, as it turns out, the taller you are, the more difficult things are for you in terms of your biology.
Yeah, like lungs and such don't work as well, and
blood circulation, things like that.
Yeah.
You basically have to have like an entirely different nervous and circulatory system, I think.
Yep.
But I'm also not a scientist, so don't quote me on that.
Yep. Well, that's why in like Warhammer 40k, if you look at a Space Marine's synthetic organs, more than half of them are devoted to blood oxygen content.
That would make sense. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and it's hard to say anything's official in SCP canon because, of course, so many authors, etc. So it's kind of an open canon kind of thing.
Yeah.
But in the Cactus verse canon, Cactus being one of the kind of main authors on there, Bigfoot was essentially a race that nearly wiped out mankind and were themselves destroyed by a sorcerer named Noah, who made it rain all over the world and flood the earth. And only men were spared because they had developed flying cities. So,
I don't remember that part.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those, creative.
Yeah.
Fascinating, even.
Alright, there we go. We got ourselves a Mothman. Oh, I forgot to save.
You should give him hooker boots. I'm joking.
No. We're doing this. Hold on. As soon as I remember where to save this.
Oh, what have I done?
You've given me ideas. Oh, there we go.
My sins are replete and without forgiveness.
Your punishment must be more severe.
Only then will you have my permission to cry.
Yeah, I gotta give him boots. You know who else wears boots? Fairies. You gotta believe me. I was really hoping you were going to get that reference.
I love you. Did you watch Supernatural at all?
I've seen bits of it. I haven't really watched the series itself, but I've seen some episodes.
Yeah, there's a rather funny, if intentionally unfortunate episode in which Dean is tricked into beating up a guy thinking it's one of the fairies they're chasing, and the fairies make sure that he's caught accidentally beating up a gay dude, yelling, "You fucking fairy," and beating the crap out of him. And as they're arresting him, he's yelling at Sam, "Fight the fairies, Sam! Fight the fairies!" It's
great.
Oh, hell.
Oops. Yeah, it reminds me of the X-Files episode we were watching last night where it's like a trailer park full of vampires. And the beginning of the episode is basically Mulder just chasing this pizza delivery boy through the woods and staking him. He turns out to be an actual vampire.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, that episode is so funny. I didn't know that the one guy in there he's like the main guy in Idiocracy. I didn't know that was Owen Wilson's brother. Did you?
I recall hearing something like that. I didn't know that specifically.
I found that out last night and I was like, huh. Ain't that something?
Yep.
I was just like, wow. I'm thinking in terms of cryptids, I wonder, how much shit is in the ocean that we don't know about that's just could be Lovecraftian horrors.
Well, like the deeper you go, the more likely they are to be horrifying to us, just because not because they're even more dangerous or anything, but just their biology is,
Yeah, horrifying looking. Which, I bet if you told an anglerfish it was ugly, it would start crying and then probably eat you. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, they're not big enough to eat us, but yeah.
The females can get pretty big as far as I've seen, but... Yeah.
I mean, they might be big enough to eat one of our children.
Think of the children! That would be an interesting twist for my RimWorld game. Oh, looking cute in these boots.
Aw, yeah.
You know, yesterday when I was at work, I had an interesting discussion with a coworker, and being a creative, I'd be curious to see your thoughts on it. We were just kind of like shooting the shit about things, and just talking about like how people don't seem to have the time to spend on hobbies because life responsibilities and things take them up, and it sort of sounds like it takes precedence over hobbies. And I was of the mind in that conversation that if something is important to you that regard, you'll make time for it. And I'd say creating an art is things always worth making time for.
No, I mean, like, all things with their due levels, like, for example, you need to eat. But,
Oh, yeah.
but, once you get past that, like, what they've generally found in studies of psychology is that once your needs are essentially met, food, shelter, etc., the biggest thing that people crave is essentially self-fulfillment.
Yeah.
And so, like, for some people, I think that is, art. For my dad, it's number crunching. Like, that's where he finds fulfillment.
Yeah.
And so
for you, it's audio and music.
Yeah, exactly. And world building and things like that. And,
oh yeah, of course.
well, like just all of it. Like, I love creative stuff, but
yeah,
I also get where someone like that might not realize that what do you call it? Like creative art. Versus say like science or something, it's fulfilling that same need for a person,
yeah.
But because they see it as entertainment, they aren't putting the same value on it because maybe they don't think like that.
And I think that's part of what it was. It sounded like he didn't understand the value of that to some people,
Yeah. Well, because life without art is kind of a mistake.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a reason that our ancestors painted on the walls in caves, If art wasn't important, it wouldn't be a thread throughout culture and civilizations throughout history. It's a means of expression. Not simply just like it's an expression of the world around us.
Mm-hmm.
How it's perceived by people. We can get real philosophical about this if we wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a whole branch of philosophy called aesthetics, and
really,
that concerns like, how does philosophy affect our sense of aesthetics? How does aesthetics affect our sense of philosophy? So, like, the best example I could offer is if you look at a medieval cathedral, and you think of that as at that time period probably the highest form of art available because you're implementing acoustics, architecture, stained glass, paintings, iconography. Like, every artist is participating in building one of those things. And everything in it is built to draw your eyes upwards. So there is a philosophical ramification to the design choice of the art, which is to elevate your view towards a god. So that would be an example of aesthetics in philosophy. Granted, that's a religious version, but even now, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of, I've finished Mothman. He's looking very moth-like.
Yes.
right. Now I have an idea what.
Yeah,
to
that's
do
where
next.
else I know him from. It's you can get Mothman as one of your monsters in Persona 5.
Really?
Yes, he is the mothiest.
All right. Well, next on our list of things that I was thinking of drawing, well, let me introduce you to a local cryptid in my home state, named the Squonk. Are you familiar with the Squonk?
No. And what home state would that be?
Pennsylvania. It is a Pennsylvania local cryptid, and it is this.
Uh-oh.
A creature so ugly and wrinkly it cries all the time.
Why do you make me sad?
Because it's
Behold
funny.
the Squonk. Mock him. Mock him.
He's like, I need some lotion.
According
Just
to
give me
Pistol,
some
his
lotion.
ancestors painted on the walls and then ate the paint chips too.
That's how you get lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Also, don't act like you didn't do that last week.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Pennsylvania, apparently we have a Bigfoot somewhere. Where, I don't know. Probably up in, like, Perry County, because Perry County is a place where my high school history teacher said if you want to bury a body, that's where you go to do it, because it's that kind of remote place.
Upsetting. Questions
Yes.
for your history teacher.
Isn't it, though? Let me see how. I've never drawn the Squonk before, so this is an interesting experience, and he's also currently looking like a fly. Which we could do a human fly next if we wanted to.
Yes.
This Squonk has no soul.
The Squonk is only of sad.
Mhm.
Looks like
Would be
an
too.
opossum without hair and a tail. Says Mr. Pistol.
A little
Mr.
bit.
Arrow.
It could very well be an opossum, for all we know.
Yes.
Oh, damn it, I'm drawing on the same layer as the reference. Oh, well. To figure out how to make him look super sad.
He's so sad. Also, there's a
He is.
smiley face in his eyeball.
It's
other
a
one has
symbol of him
sharp-
wishing to be happy or something like that.
The other one is beginning to form Sharingan.
Oh my god. Man, I'm sorry if you like Naruto, but now that I'm older, because it used to be on TV, but now that I'm older, I'm just like, this show is kind of lame.
Yep. No, yeah, it's definitely for teenagers. It's not
Yo, yeah.
Some things can be well written and not be for, like adults, because it's not going to hit an adult the same way. Okay, so I'm looking at some references for this guy's face, and this is that same picture I was working on last 2 weeks.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I have to ask you now a really dumb question.
Yes.
Should he have a knife between his teeth as well?
I feel like that's a bit edgy, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he has a knife in each hand, so the knife between the teeth would just be silly.
Yeah.
Granted, he comes from a culture that greatly values the concept of boot knife.
Oh, boot knife is fine. It's just the holding in your teeth
yeah.
part. That seems like an easy way to get your teeth broken.
Oh yeah, no. I'm being ridiculous. No, the joke there was in a game where I was playing someone from that culture, for the players that I was running for. They kept, wondering where he was getting knives, and so every time they were like, "Where'd you get that one?" Wrist knife. What about that one? Other wrist knife. Um,
Assassin's Creed style, yeah.
so like they ended up when they disarmed him on one occasion, they ended up finding 22 knives on him.
Oh god, it's like that one. I think it's I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, where they're loading up for a mission, and the guy's like cramming like 20 guns on his person, and then he trips, and then they all go off at once.
Yep. I forgot about that.
I love that scene.
Knife, bigger knife, fucking knife.
Grenade. Other grenade. Shotgun.
Yep.
I'm not going all out on the legs just because I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my fiance to get home so I can show her this. Like, look what I did, honey. I drew a cryptid. And then she leaves. No, I'm kidding. No. You want to know what came to our house today?
What?
A cardboard cutout of Nick Cage. We want it for the wedding.
That's just reminding me of that. Okay, so I worked at a movie theater for a while, and one of the on-running jokes was that whenever we were disposing of like the cardboard cutouts and standouts and so forth, I would often steal them from my friends if they were just going to go into the dumpster.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting George Clooney from Leatherheads. That movie about like early football.
Yeah.
And for her, and I came over to help her move one day, only to find that she had stapled it to the roof of her bedroom. So George Clooney was always looking down on
That's
her.
horrifying.
I think she actually just did it for when we were moving, just to fuck with us.
Oh, I would. You have to.
Yeah, this is one of those like, oh.
My sister has a cardboard cutout of Legolas from Lord of the Rings. I forget. I don't know if I've told this story or not. Maybe I have, but she had this cardboard cutout in her room, and every time that she would go into the bathroom, I would like sneak over and I would put it in front of the door. And every time that she came out of the bathroom, she'd jump.
Yep. You said that on one occasion you startled yourself in the process, didn't you?
Oh, that's how I discovered it. I was like, I could use this. We have the technology. Oh, he's looking very squonk-like now.
What squonkery is this? Yes, he is very squonky.
Making my profile picture.
Oh no, but yes.
I think I'm going to make Mothman my profile picture, honestly. God, what a depressing soul. But I guess if you look like a scrotum, you know.
It's so mean, but accurate.
I mean, you look at that and you tell me what it is.
I was just thinking of Shake from, oh god, what is it?
You look in that in the eyes and tell me there's a God.
You look at that in the eye and tell me there's a God.
I fucking love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I love the... Oh, I can't wait to see that. I love the one episode...
That's the older movie. The newer one that's coming out, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I think that's coming out, like, on streaming or whatever. But I love the one episode where Shake's son shows up, and he goes to Carl's house first. He's like, next door, jackass. He goes over there, and Shake's like, oh, no, it's the man across the street. He goes back around, and Carl's just there with a shotgun, like, nope.
Yes.
She's looking very sad now, because... Oh my god. This is turning out better than I hoped it was going to. It's like, yeah, I'll try to draw a squonk, see how that shit goes.
Yes. Crap, I forgot. For a brief period, when I was still like learning people in the Aux, because you join a new group, you don't know everyone's personality yet. I had forgotten, because I'm looking through anime faces right now, that mentally I associated you with the fire swordsman from Demon Slayer. And it was because I heard you say delicious particularly loudly at one point, and there's a scene where it just shows him eating, he's ordered like 5 lunch trays essentially on a train, and he's just eating through all of them, and every bite he's just like, delicious, delicious, delicious.
You know what? I'll take that. I have been known to say that on occasion. Oh, this poor creature. I can't wait to show this to people.
Demon Slayer is kind of a weird anime for me, because whenever I look at the animation after having not watched it for a while, I'm like, I really don't like this animation style. But then I watch it again and I'm like, but I really like the story.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I've said I'm not super into anime, but...
Well, that's fair.
But I mean, hey man, if you enjoy it, teach their own.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'm not going to call it an acquired taste, but it's not a taste everyone has. It's like how some people think that, I forget which fruit it is, but like some people will taste it and think it tastes like pineapple, whereas other people will taste it and think it tastes like wood.
Yeah. It does remind me, I do need to finish watching Stardust Memory.
Yeah.
See, I like anime like 90s style, 80s style anime, that sort of animation style. I love that, because that's like the last of... Like, that was back when they still hand drew shit, you know? I think they probably still use computers to some extent, but...
Yeah.
Squonk. Alright. I will be right back.
Hydrate, fools, Pistol tells us. Well, while he goes to hydrate, our good audience, might I suggest all of you give your temples a nice massage to relieve pressure from your head. All you need to do is gently place your fingers on the pressure points and massage with pressure to relieve the pressure. You're feeling pressured now to do what I have pressured you to do. Do not be afraid. This is the way. Ah! I'm sorry. I had an episode, but I'm over it now.
I am back.
Hello back. I am Stormsong.
I thought you were going to say Dad. I'm like, you said you're going for cigarettes. I do wonder, has anyone's parent actually been like, I'm going for smokes and never come back? Or is that just like a meme?
I think it's a meme, but it's bound to have been like one person, and that's how it became a meme.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there is a truth to humans like not wanting to face what they're about to do, and then just like saying they're going to do something else, and then leaving without saying anything or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So like, I think there's a certain like truism to it that makes it believable.
Can you guess what I'm drawing next?
El Chupacabra?
Yes.
I saw teeth, and I was like, well, unless that's the weasel, Scrat, or whatever his name is, from Ice Age, El Chupacabra.
Yeah. Which,
or
honestly, I think most sightings of those are just dogs with mange.
Or coyotes or something.
Oh, definitely coyotes.
Yeah, because, I mean, it doesn't the name mean goat sucker or goat eater?
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, Chupacabra is one of those ones where I'm like, I don't think it's really real. I think it's more of just, like, other things.
Well, and it's a desert creature in theory, so that means, mirage could be a factor, peyote could be a factor, whatever goes on the border, whatever goes on the border could be a factor.
saw a chupacabra and he was carrying 20 kilos.
Okay, that's good. I'm a fool.
If I ever run a shadow game, I'm going to make chupacabras drug smuggling. I feel like there's chupacabras in Shadowrun, right?
I'm not as familiar with Shadowrun.
Neither am I. It wouldn't surprise me if they were, or if not, they could definitely be put in.
Yeah, it strikes me as their kind of thing.
It looks like a dinosaur right now, but whatever. I just imagined some little wiry gremlin looking thing, usually with chupacabras.
Yep.
There we go. Yeah, he's like some kind of gacked out T-Rex or something. Yeah. I like how his face is looking. It's like, oh! It kind of just made like a dinosaur, but whatever.
I mean, given most depictions and that he's kind of quasi-reptilian in most of them,
Yeah.
not inappropriate, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say so. I've seen ones where it almost looks like some kind of alien. So, really, it's a lot of it's just open to interpretation, I feel. It's not like anyone owns the rights to Chupacabra.
El diablo de blanco en mis pantalones. ¿Dónde son mis pantalones?
I know there's some lady that... Some cryptid lady that has tried to copyright some shit for something... Some kind of, like, dragons or whatever.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm not even surprised anymore.
Yeah. People are just dumb.
Yep.
He's quite the creature, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
You ever see anything weird, like creature-wise, that makes you wonder what you saw?
Not a creature. Like, so I know this is nested somewhat in my beliefs, which are, specific.
Yeah.
But, like, I have met someone before that I was pretty sure was possessed.
Huh.
But, no, like a creature, no.
Okay. I saw a UFO that was the shape of the Star of David. No.
Oh, God.
The closest I can say, it wasn't even me, it was my brother, and they were drinking, so I don't necessarily, I would say take it with a pretty big grain of salt, but he said he saw a UFO once. I've always wanted to see something like that, but I never have.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to go pretty remote for shit like that. Actually, that makes... Oh, there was a Chupacabra episode for the X-Files. But it turned out it was, like, cave people.
I don't think it was Chupacabra. I think it was, like, the Jersey Devil.
Oh, that was it. That's right.
Yeah, because that's early season. I've only seen
the first
season, so.
I mean...
I had started watching it relatively recently and then got sidetracked.
Happens. I'm gonna make him green, I think. I don't know if Chupacabras are green or not, but whatever. Somebody can, I guess, catch one and see what it is. Just like, I just want to know, like, how many people were like, I caught a Chupacabra. It's just like, that's a dog.
Now, it'd be interesting if there was, in fact, Chupacabra and it was a breed of dog that we just hadn't identified, which, you know.
See, that to me would be... I mean, it's not as fun, but I feel like that could be a possibility. Just some sort of, like, feral dog or something.
Yeah.
I mean, surprisingly, we keep finding species, and you'd think that you think with where we are today that we wouldn't we would have figured things out, but no, we keep finding new things. Which is I'm glad we do. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. One of my favorite bands is coming out with a new album. I'm very excited.
Which band be that?
Queens of the Stone Age.
Ah, yes. I had these. My business partner, the other guy who runs the studio I work at.
Yeah.
He's very big into Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he probably knows then too. They just released like a bunch of songs this week. They had already released some, so it's like, yeah, they're definitely making an album. I just realized I've kind of given him like a snake tongue and like, I guess, yeah, that could be the bottom of his mouth. He used to say. I know cryptid anatomy. Actually, I feel like there is somebody out there that's probably made like a cryptid anatomy book. And if not, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Well, I mean, you have people who debate about, like, you know, is it a wyvern or an actual dragon? It's like, dude, what's an actual dragon look like? Please,
yeah,
elaborate.
how about we cover that first? It's so funny how people just get hung up on the narrowest things, and it's just like, this is fiction. Actually, no, I don't know why I just said that, because I'm just thinking of fandoms now. I'm just like, oh, never mind. I could see how.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, there's a logic to it to some degree, but that logic often goes out of the window pretty quickly.
Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of that with, like, UFO groups that all fight with each other. Because they all want to be the one that uncovers it, and it's just like, nah.
Yep.
If you work together, it might be good, but, of course, you know how nerds can be. Look at what people have done in War Thunder. It's like, I'm gonna win this argument by leaking government secrets.
Yeah. Oh, the lack of restraint in some people amazes me.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I guess it's kind of like natural selection in a way, but I don't know.
Well, it's also because law is extremely abstract, and so, like, it's not built into our instincts to think in terms of law.
No, it's definitely not in our instincts. Yeah.
Yeah. it's built into our instincts to think in terms of, say, pecking order, and that's why police officers kind of work. But if there's not a police officer in the area, then it really takes your own personal discipline and opinions to decide whether you'll follow the law or not.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Okay, I gave him some spots now. I love him. He actually turned out better than I was expecting him to. I feel like you could see this in like a Ninja Turtles episode.
Yes.
It's like the New York City Chupacabra or something. Oh, man. No, actually, the New York City version of the Chupacabra would probably be rats. Rats are fucking terrifying because of... They'll just eat people. Like, straight up.
Oh, yeah, there used to be medieval torture methods built around that notion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of accounts from the First World War of, like, rats eating people left out in no man's land and things. It's pretty messed up. I think I'm gonna do another one of my favorites. I'm gonna do some Bigfoot.
Do it. Do it.
Bigfoot's just like the chillest cryptid. I feel like he'd be fun to hang out with. Unless it's like that one horror movie about Bigfoot that I remember hearing of.
Yes.
I think I've got his face pretty well captured. He's like, hey, man.
Pistol. Yes, these are just for fun. Crispo here decided he wanted to draw cryptids.
Yes, since I am one. Crispy the cryptid.
Yes. He is Krispacious Krautly, the cryptid, who keks us with his artsy goodness.
Yes. I probably could make these like fun little postcards, honestly, though. That'd be fun. I might send a picture of this to a friend of mine because he's from California. So he'd probably appreciate it. His mom actually claims she saw Bigfoot because it was like Northern California. Which, honestly, if there's going to be a Bigfoot, I can see it at a place like that.
Yeah.
She was telling me about it the one time. It was like they were driving late at night somewhere up north, and all of a sudden they just saw like something cross like and walk up and over the divider, like the guardrail, like it crossed the road and just climbed over the divider like a person.
Shia LaBeouf.
And maybe it was Shia LaBeouf. That or some tweaker. There's a cryptid, the Philadelphia tweaker. Just shuffle up to you and say words. You're like, what? That happened to me once.
I've had that moment.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was the guy who claimed he was like an ex-military experiment or something.
That sounds like a Philly.
Yeah. Well, like, this was in Colorado.
You know what? I can see that as well.
Well, especially after certain laws were passed, let's just say. Like, I have nothing against, the use of certain substances, so long as they're legal, etc., etc. But a lot of people moved here without lining up jobs and so forth.
Yeah.
And so then we suddenly had a vast, like, all of the sudden homeless population.
Yeah, it's kind of like how California, with people wanting to move there for, like, acting work and things, and then it end up just homeless because turns out that's not very easy to get into.
Yeah. And so
that's some Chumbawamba shit.
Well, not to get into the chumba, but yeah. Is a Wookiee or a Bigfoot and Bigfoot the same thing? I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah, which funnily enough, when they were shooting Return of the Jedi, they actually had to have escorts with Chewbacca for scenes because they were afraid people were going to see him as Bigfoot and shoot him.
Oh gosh, wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
but believable.
You know what? It's Northern California. I believe it. There's a lot of stoners up there.
Yep.
Although I think like if you were a stoner and you saw Bigfoot, you'd be more inclined to like pass him the roach than shoot him. Although there's a lot of people that want to shoot Bigfoots.
Yep.
That you want to talk about a crazy community to be in? It's the Bigfoot community.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Naturally.
There were these guys that actually like put frozen deer guts in a gorilla suit to try and claim it was Bigfoot.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's kind of a shame because to some extent I could see there being a missing link wandering around somewhere. But
yeah.
And it's the same with a lot of like the paranormal stuff. It's like there's a lot of things where I can see where it could be possible, but you know, you get all the people that are either greedy or just idiots or whatever that just want to ruin it for everybody else. Mm-hmm. Let people have fun, damn it.
Oh god.
Hmm?
Oh, just one of those moments where I forgot I set my eraser to scale 500 and...
Oh, I love it when that happens. It's like, why did half my picture just disappear? Oh, right.
Oh god. No!
Thankfully, that's easy to undo.
Well, yeah.
The worst is when you've been working on something for a while and it's like, I'm in the wrong layer. I think the worst thing that's happened to me drawing-wise when I've been working on the computer is one time I was working on a project and it was storming out and our power went out in the middle of the project and it corrupted the file. Yeah. Thankfully, I was able to fix it. You know, thankfully it was backups. I actually when we did the stream where I was drawing my comic, I actually accidentally saved over it and basically ruined all this progress that I made, but thankfully there was backups that allowed me to kind of go back, and it didn't completely save everything, but it was at a point where I could do things better, because I was almost going to message you and be like, Storm, I want to die right now. I fucked up. Oh, this Bigfoot's looking great. What's great right now is like I'm listening to music in the background and I have like one of those Modelo commercials where it's like playing the Ecstasy of Gold from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And it's the part where it's like, oh, and I'm just drawing Bigfoot.
Yep. Now I'm trying to decide if I want to go a little more stylized with this guy's appearance or a little more high realism. Because I went high detail on the armor, as you saw. But...
I would say stylized, just because, but that's me. So take it with a grain of salt, because I'm more of a stylized artist over realism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no, I think that is the answer, because he's supposed to be a little pointier than a regular human, given the species he is.
Yeah. Honestly, if you want to see someone that's really good at stylizing stuff, it's Gendy Tartakovsky. Which, if people don't know who that is, if you've watched Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, or a multitude of other cartoons, chances are he was involved with those.
Toilet Obliterator is asking you to eventually draw the Poopoxodon.
The Poopoxodon?
He's saying, Crispy, you must draw our child. It is your destiny. Draw the Poopoxodon.
Oh god, I forgot about that thing.
And then as to Pistol, I am drawing one of the characters from my setting, from the story I'm writing right now, actually. The idea is he's a soldier within a standard military unit, but he himself would be kind of, I guess to borrow a term from Warhammer, he's a feral worlder. So basically think like, fully modern armor and weapon kit, but he has like tribal totems and shit.
Oh, I like that. It's like there's this one artist. I know him as Saint Theo, but he might go by different names. He's actually done a lot of concept art in recent years. He did a lot for like the Jedi, Last Jedi, or the Fallen Order Jedi series and things. But back in the day, which is how I got to know him, he did this series called Helldivers, which was like essentially part special forces, part like tribal or ancient warrior. And it's like a lot of that. Like they have like totems and things. Like there's dudes that are like power armor with a minigun, and they've got like antlers on their suits and things. It's really cool. I would definitely recommend people check it out if they like that kind of thing. Saint Theo. He's on DeviantArt, or look up like Helldivers. You'll probably know when you see it. It's a very detailed, more realistic style that he draws.
Yeah. And what's it called? Saint Theo, you said?
Yeah. And it's abbreviated Saint Theo too, so.
Theo Styliandis?
Hold on. Send me a picture of it real quick so I can tell you.
Well, this looks like the stuff you were just describing. Yeah, like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because the idea behind the setting is very much like, when I say, he's the one that's like in the tribal getup, like, even though the rest of the troop is, quote, standard military, the rest of the troop are using terms like squire and knight and very much have that kind of rank going.
Oh, yeah. No, you found it. I just Googled St. Theo, and that's, yeah. Yeah, I forgot he did all the concept art for the new Halo.
Yeah, this is
right?
definitely the style I'm looking at.
Yeah. Guess what song just came up on my playlist? Fairies Wear Boots.
Yes.
Somebody reminded me of that song the other day, and I've been listening to a lot. But no, yeah, like I love combining like more tribal, like ancient stuff with like sci-fi. I've got for my own story, I've got a sort of faction / subspecies of humanity that I want to do that for.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to get into spoilers.
Yes.
I've had people ask me in the aux about stuff that I'm writing. I was like, I don't want to spoil it.
Yep.
You know, no, I'm not going to get like wrinkly, cracked lips.
I love how I'm looking for drawing references, and the first thing I look up is anime, and I'm about to continue, and the first thing that comes up is mouth shapes, and I'm like, yes.
I was afraid it was going to be something else, just because I know how some people are, but yeah. There's a lot of that. I love like the memes about like the anime side mouth. It's just like, it's like you see it, it's like, yeah. Kind of reminds me of the Bigfoot that I drew for a commission a year or two ago. I did a bit of work for a game table or like game company that did a lot of like card games, like tabletop games and things. It was a pretty fun experience. I drew the Bigfoot and I drew the Chupacabra for the one game they were doing. I'm hoping to get more work from them. I haven't heard from them in a while, but it'd be cool if I could get back into that. Because I'm trying to do a few more commissions. Not too many, because I don't want to overwhelm myself. I mean, I still have a day job after all, but I know I have a few people in the aux that want commission work done that I haven't on a list.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, we're going to go with snarly mouth, not shouty mouth.
Nice.
Since this guy is supposed to be, a advanced combat werewolf.
Combat werewolf. Reminds me of my RimWorld game.
I'm sort of joking when I say that his species are kind of a wolfkin sort of folk.
Yeah.
And no, they're not furry.
I'm just thinking of my RimWorld game, because there's like dog people that keep coming to attack my base, so I just keep shooting them.
Yep.
They're gonna hate the mortars I just built.
Yeah, no, I just have to qualify that it's not furry, because it's like, I keep getting people to get the
Well, anthro art is one thing. Furry is... I feel like there's a kind of a connotation between those two.
That's what I mean. Like nothing on furries, just...
Yeah.
That's not what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely going to send this to a friend of mine then. I think he'll appreciate it. My buddy Levi.
Yeah.
The fucking hippie that he is. We went to visit him out in California the one summer because he was living out there at the time. And that honestly, that was a great experience because we got to see like the redwoods and stuff. You would not believe how big those are until you're standing next to one. They're nuts.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when we used to go camping a lot, there were some ancient trees that I just like fell in love looking at them.
Yeah. It's cool because you'd see people that they would like hollow out, cut down stumps so you could sort of camp in them if you wanted to. You just have to like throw a tarp over the top because they had like sticks overlaid of it. Like we were able to walk inside a few of them. It was an amazing experience. You know, it's crazy to think that there's trees that size, you know?
Oh yeah.
You can see why they used it for Endor.
Well, it's like in Switzerland, you know, it's not a tree, it's a mushroom, but there's a piece of fungus under Switzerland that is about, they believe it to be about 8 miles wide.
I think I heard about that. There's just like a giant underground colony of fungus or something.
Yeah, and it's all like technically one conjoined entity.
And that's actually a good thing because apparently there's types of fungus that absorb like a shit ton of CO2.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's good for the environment.
Yep.
Oh, my Bigfoot, I'm loving him right now. He's just like, I could turn this into a sticker, I think. I might.
Yeah. And stir the pistol. Yes, I do recall I looked at it. Trying to remember. I think you sent me like a page and a half of it.
I saved it. I tried to save it as Bigfoot. It was like Big 4 because I forgot to. I mistook it and it was a TR at the end instead of a T. So what should I draw next? I wonder.
Draw.
Loch Ness Monster?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, cool.
But with a mohawk.
A mohawk? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I started reading this, that's right. I think you sent this to me about 3 or 4... No, you sent me this about a week ago. Right, that's when I was starting to get ready for the interview, so I don't think I finished reading this. I'll have to finish reading this later. Thank you very much.
Speaking of things to read,
I like
Hellion
art. I haven't gotten to read it yet, though.
What is it exactly?
Oh, Pistol.
Is it his comic?
Like the first like page and a half, or no, it's like
cool.
3 pages of his. I think it's called Brave or something like that, or Bold.
Bold, yeah.
Yeah, Bold. Yeah, I like
actually.
The art but yeah, I need to read it because I've been busy prepping for these classes I'm going to be teaching.
I'd say that's priorities and all, you know.
Well,
actually, I posted it the other day. I did some sketches of characters from my setting that I've been working on. I could, you know what? If you want, I can pull them up right now, since we're doing art. Hold on. So these are the main 2 characters of it. Their names are Connor and Isabella, respectively. One's basically like an assistant grunt on a space station. The other one's like a smuggler. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get too into the details because it's all stuff that I'm writing for it. But I'm trying to do like a character lineup of them and a bunch of other characters.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get differences in heights and things in mind. That's the thing that kind of sucks. Is like I've got other projects I'm working on. I'm just like I want to work on this right now.
Yep, I know that feel. Well, and then I have the problem with mine is I essentially let the project get too big, and I can't. I've been reducing portions of it, but there's things they become so fundamental to it that I can't like take them
Yeah,
out. So it's
I
like,
get
okay,
you.
so I have to kind of scale this appropriately. Like at some point, I realized this isn't one story. This is I'm gonna have to do this Avengers style, although hopefully better because I actually am quite disappointed with a lot of Avengers movies lately.
Oh, we could
Um,
talk about that shit if we want to.
but well, yeah, but in
I've
this
got a lot
case,
of things to say about Disney.
yeah, that's completely fair. Oh yeah, checkbox. Fuck Disney. No. For those
I'll
who
drink
are
to that.
not familiar with us, the Aux has a checklist. The top 5 of which each day are fuck Disney, fuck EA, fuck Games
Games.
Workshop.
Yeah.
So, if someone says fuck around and find out, and Gordon screams at a bad well, these are some of the top items.
It's too bad. Can you show that meme on stream you showed me earlier because it basically describes things.
If you want to show it, like I have no problem showing that, but it
Oh,
you
go
know
for it.
it's also very inside baseball.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I just don't know how much anyone else would get it. Granted that people watching us right now are pistol hating toilet, so and
I think they might understand it.
yeah. Well, I posted it in memes and shitposts the other day, so I think they
Oh,
they
okay.
should be able to find it in
No,
there.
that's fine then. What kind of mohawk should I give him? Because I'm thinking like Liberty Spikes.
That's where my brain was.
Right on.
Great minds think like me.
Stay punk, kids. Fight the system.
It's the Stay Punk Marshmallow Man. Wait, what?
I want to see that shit. I've been listening to a lot of Rage Against the Machine lately, and I'm just like, this band is great. My favorite story about them is still the one where they went on the BBC and they were like, you can't say the word fuck. You can perform all the songs you want, but don't perform the word or say the word fuck. And the song that they were playing is "Killing in the Name of," which, if you know the lyrics, has that word in it. And
Yep.
knowing Rage Against the Machine, you can guess how that went.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They said the lyrics while flipping the bird on TV, and they cut it. And they were just like, well, we told them not to say it. They said it anyway. It's like, what were you expecting to happen? It's Rage Against the Machine.
Yep.
I'm going to give this guy derpy eyes because it seems fitting.
Yay.
Storm, have you played Homeworld?
I watched a friend play it. I haven't played it myself yet.
Have you ever heard the end credits song?
I believe I have.
By Yes.
Wait, by yes?
Yes. They did a song for Homeworld as the end credits song. And it is, it doesn't fit with the game, but it's very interesting.
Oh, I'll have to tell my friend about that because he's a big Yes fan. I enjoy them when I hear them.
I wasn't sure if it was directly for the game or not, but then I found, like, the song on YouTube, and the art for it had, like, emblems from the game in it. I was like, okay, I guess it was just for the game.
Yep.
Yes is pretty good. They have a very distinct, like... I love bands that have, like, that very distinct, like, 80s, 90s style to them in terms of their instruments.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the restroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Go for it.
something you need to learn to use responsibly.
I need a clone that can go to work for me while I stay at home and shitpost. Or we could swap days, because I'm sure he'd want to stay at home and shitpost too.
Yes.
Oh, I will be right back. I am back. I love my creation. I think I know what I'm going to do next. And it is something that I feel like most people may not know what it is. And that is the Jersey... Or not the Jersey Devil. The Flatwoods Monster.
Color me
Which...
curious.
I think it is also from West Virginia, because, well, for one thing, it's in Fallout 76. But I will show you in a second what it is. Possibly an alien.
Sure.
There it is. That's the Flatwoods Monster. Doesn't he look like cuddliest?
Wait, where are you showing me this? Oh, there we are.
Oh, it's on my, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. It's like Mind Flayer, but with less tentacles, or maybe they're just hidden.
Yeah, I kind of think you know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Mars Attacks. But I have a different idea for this one, so let's see. You know, I'm sure it explains a lot that cryptids are out in the woods usually, but it's like, when do we get, like, I want some urban cryptids, you know, like...
I mean, you kind of
like,
do, but they tend to be the ones that are probably disproven the most readily.
Probably. Do you remember that one, like, internet video where it was, like, the leprechaun? And people were like, yeah, everyone see leprechauns, say yeah.
No, I can't say I know that one.
No, that was like an old thing. I think it was on... I remember seeing it on Tosh 2.0 when that was a thing.
Wow, that's a blast from the past.
Right? Just like the idea is like, I once saw Wolfman that slam dunked.
That's a weird image.
Yeah. kind of reminds me of the movie. You ever watch Monster Squad?
I don't believe I have.
It's like a Ghostbusters type movie, but it's like Dracula's in it, the Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, just like basically like all the big like horror creatures show up in it, and it's like in a small town, and it's kind of like the Goonies meets Ghostbusters in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
They explode a werewolf at one point, and then he starts coming back together like the T-1000.
Oh, I've seen that scene. Yeah, because they're like, oh yeah, you have to use silver bullets to kill it.
Yeah.
Which actually was not part of traditional werewolf mythology, and was implemented into werewolf mythology in the 20s by a movie called The Hound of Gavaden. Which was itself based on a werewolf myth that did a name. Hey, fan art fantastic. Oh wow, we have 8 people watching.
Oh hey.
Oh, you know what? So like one urban cryptid kind of thing that I know about is that in the case of like one of the reasons why what are they called? Why homeless people seem to have more stories of UFO abductions than anyone else.
Was that?
So, let's say you are, a homeless person. You probably have mental problems to some degree. And we're talking about, like, the people who have been homeless for a long time. And, yeah, they're on, drugs and so forth. Let's say you OD. Your brain isn't, in a place where you are processing information correctly. And you may not have any idea what you're looking at. And suddenly an ambulance pulls you in and starts attaching things inside of you to try to save your life.
Oh, I can see that as a thing, yeah.
And, one of the big things they do is they try to hydrate you through the rectum. And
rectum damn near killed him.
Yeah, and so as a result, people, it's strongly believed that the concept of, like, anal probes probably came from older versions of how we would try to hydrate, somebody who was overdosing.
Good lord.
And that,
I guess that explains a little bit of it, but shit.
Well, and then, like, imagine you're, drugged out enough that you're not seeing correctly, and you look into the light that they're using to, like, watch as they're performing emergency operation on you in their little room on the ambulance. More and more you start to see, like, the image of, like, oh gosh, I've been abducted by aliens.
Trying to get my fiance just got home. I want her to see what I'm drawing right now.
Yep, it be drugs. That do be how it do.
It do be do.
Just be our wedding or save the day.
Yeah, I'm trying to Hansard Squidward this right now.
Oh my. Hello, crispy girlfriend. Or crispy fiance, I guess.
Yeah, she says hi. As soon as she saw it, she started laughing, so. Doing something right. We make each other cards, it gets pretty fun. We watched Twin Peaks together, so that doesn't say anything about a relationship. I don't know what does.
All I can say is that's some damn good pie.
Damn good cup of coffee.
Yep.
I totally. Have you ever watched David Lynch's YouTube channel? You want to talk about cryptids? Not his YouTube channel,
but like, I've watched a lot of his movies, like Lost Highway, his version of Dune, Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah. Well, he has a YouTube channel, right? And he does 2 things on it usually. One is the daily weather report, and the other is the number of the day, where he pulls a bunch of numbers out of a, like written on ping pong balls out of a jar. It's the most surreal shit, but for some reason it's just like so much fun to watch. It's like, oh, what is the number of the day? Like, there's no prizes for it or anything. I actually went as that for Halloween the other year. Just David Lynch with the number of the day thing going.
That's pretty cool.
David Lynch is my spirit animal. I think we were discussing it on the other day in chat, where it's like, we can't necessarily confirm or deny if David Lynch is human. I said we need to do like a blood test like it's the Thing, but I don't know if that would work.
The only thing we know for sure.
The only thing we know for sure.
I can't remember what I was going to say. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, if you've watched like season 3 of Twin Peaks, like, it gets real off the rails with some of the shit. Which also, a lot of it apparently has a lot of occult references, which is interesting.
Oh yeah. Like when I was watching it, like there was a lot of stuff going.
Oh yeah.
It's right up there with like, strangely enough, Evangelion, which as an anime goes is like, it's already going to be a weird fucking anime to begin with, and it only starts to make sense if you're familiar with Kabbalah and Gnosticism.
Yeah.
And even then, it still doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm sorry. My girlfriend, like, or my fiance just opened the Nick Cage cutout that we have, and it's very creepy. I'll have to send you a picture of it then, but he's wearing all leather with cowboy boots.
So he's
that is freaking me the fuck out. I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and that thing's gonna scare the shit out of me. Oh no. I'm not gonna. I got the uncanny valley like as soon as she saw it. Like, you know when you're sitting next to like a mannequin at like a department store?
Take a picture of me.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of shit. There's definitely been times where I've seen mannequins at stores and it's like creeped me out. Oh god, I just took a picture of her with it. I have to send you a picture of what it looks like then, because it's like, just imagine standing next to that and like not expecting it to be there and scare you.
Yep.
So if you had to come up with a cryptid, what would it be?
Give me a moment to think here. You know, I've never really thought about it. Let us say...
It's hard to say, because there's so many directions you could take. I feel like that, yeah, it's like, you could take it so many different directions.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm actually having a hard time thinking about this.
No, that's okay, man. I'm just kind of like spitballing here, but I get what you mean.
No.
Yeah.
It's an interesting question though, so that, like, I actually want to have an answer here.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you think about like Slenderman and how that was just kind of like born of the internet. It's interesting to think about, right? Like, if you had to make a cryptid, what would it be like?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I can match the brilliance of the Squonk, but I like the idea of something that goes through people's mail for some reason. It's like, I don't know, the Badger Man is stealing people's mail again. Although we don't really have badgers.
We have Russian Badger. He's a cryptid.
If Russian Badger was going through my mail, I would have more questions than answers.
Well, like, there is, in my setting, the The aurochs, which are space whales,
Ooh, that's interesting.
and they're like tentacly, and they float through space. And
Yeah.
if you're not careful, they'll try to mate with your ship.
Oh! I don't remember that version of Moby Dick.
Yeah, no, there was a whole episode of the campaign centered around like them trying to escape from a herd of those during mating season.
Oh, that sounds fun. If I had to pick, I do like the idea of something stealing people's mail that's like some kind of gremlin thing. Oh, that would be fun. Like a way to explain porch pirates. It's just like some kind of like mail stealing goblin or something.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like modern things that could fit into like a cryptid myth, and that's one of them. Our Flatwood monster is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he has abs, but I'm giving him a 6-pack.
He should subscribe to us as soon as possible, then he can have some form of abs.
Well,
Well,
sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. No, I'm kidding.
oh!
I totally made that.
Is...
I totally made that joke on the fucking Aux Unplugged.
Yep. This program is brought to you by Raid Bug Spray. It's genocide for insects.
They should have used that in Starship Troopers. It would be funny if they put like a chemical sprayer in the game.
Yep.
I do want to see a Starship Troopers game where it actually has the power armor, but unfortunately I don't really see that happening too much because unfortunately the movie is kind of overwritten what the original point of the book was.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad, but
And then unfortunately with that there's also like piles of chumba in the wumba and
yeah, it's a whole thing. Oh, this beautiful creature. You know what he kind of reminds me of now that I'm working on him? He reminds me of Tingle from Legend of Zelda.
Oh my god, it's like handsome Squidward Tingle, I hate it.
Oh, I know, it's great. I love it. Oh, God.
With this abomination before the Lord my God.
You look me in the eyes and tell me there's a God. You look that in the eyes and tell me there's a God. Also, I looked over and my fiance just put Nick Cage at the door and it scared me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I need to send this to people with no context just to see what their reaction is. It's like, oh, sorry, wrong number.
Send it to text and like immediately deputies inside your walls. What was that about?
If deputies inside my walls, I'd be scared. I have said text some of the things that I've drawn for the BPL, or just the Aux in general. There was the horror con I was at a while ago. I sent him some of the covers of the. There was like an entire like section where it was like Canon Films type movies, which a lot of them were Canon Films, but there was ones that I sent him pictures of like Road Lawyers, just like
Yep.
just that kind of level of just Knife Fight City.
Yeah.
I really want to know if you've seen Velocipaster because that's such a great movie.
I would be surprised if he hadn't.
Right?
But then again, Texas is full of surprises, so...
Yes, he is. I will say I wasn't expecting the poetry readings, but I'm pleasantly appreciating them.
Yep.
I feel like poetry's kind of a hit or miss, but that's just me.
I'm a big fan if it's well read. Reading it is good too, but like being very auditory in nature, I like it if it has a good reader. So like one of my favorites is what's his name? Oh God, who's the actor?
Morgan Freeman.
Sir Anthony Hopkins reading.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
One of my favorite poems, which is "Do Not Go Gentle."
And for him, that's very fitting.
Mm-hmm. I think
Hannibal
he did
himself.
a version. Yeah, I think he did a version of it on what was it, Interstellar? No,
Really?
that was Michael Caine's version.
I was gonna say I don't remember Anthony Hopkins in that movie, but I've only seen clips of it. I'm weird. Like I've seen clips of a lot of movies, but I haven't watched them the full way through. Mostly because I don't feel like making the time commitment half the time.
Yeah.
I mean, but I am autistic, so take that how you will. You know what's funny is like I keep making comments about how I'm autistic. My mom's like, "You shouldn't say that about yourself." I'm like, why? It's who I am.
Yep. Well, I mean, she does come from a time period where that was, something.
Oh,
she did.
Very much so. Yeah. I mean, she was born in the '60s, so it's like a whole different era of things. I mean, shit. I don't even know if they had it classified as autism back then.
They had it classified as Asperger's syndrome.
Yeah, that's what I was diagnosed with originally. Now I think it's just considered like high functioning or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The older I get, the more I'm just like, yeah, I accept it now. It's like it's part of who I am. I'm not going to complain about it. Why hide part of who I am as a person?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I can't draw reflective metal for shit or paint it for shit. This is why I use metallics when I paint my minis.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. My child. I do say sometimes to people that art is my baby, and it's just funny in this context.
Sorry about that, fan art fantastic. Didn't see you there. Yeah, you have permission. Let us see your fan art.
I'm always up for seeing other people's art.
And just in case, like, try to send us specifically to, like, the page, because...
Hey, baby, you want a kiss?
I have to, like...
Let me have some smooches.
Oh. Oh, God. It's Sonic as Slender Man.
Oh, God! Is that in the actual, like, chat? Hold on, I need to see this. Oh, no. Oh, shit! Jolly Jack's in our fucking chat?
Just fan art fantast.
I was gonna say, I know Jolly Jack, he's one of the artists that I follow, but... yeah, no, that's some cryptid Sonic shit.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to fit the theme. No, that.
Man, I about shit a brick. I was like, oh man, one of the artists that I like a lot is in chat. No offense, I
get the feeling you wouldn't have shit a brick. You would have shit a full pyramid.
Oh yeah, it would have been a great pyramid of Giza. Like, I'm gonna draw cryptid Sonic now.
Yes. Yes!
Yes! Yes!
This sandwich is delicious!
This might end up just being a shitpost version of Sonic, but whatever. This ain't art class, I'm not getting graded for it.
Lol.
You know, it's funny, I had a professor in college that said I wasn't very good at drawing. I want to send him a copy of some of the things that I've made to prove him wrong. This is also the same professor that thought that I took a stylus from the computer lab and kept it, even though I remember giving it back to him, and also I had a Cintiq at the time, so I was like, why would I keep this?
Yep.
That was the thing that bothered me. It's... Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, some people just have a chip on their shoulder, and one doesn't know why.
Ain't that the truth? The thing is like, he was like having us draw in Adobe Illustrator with a tablet, and it was like, it wasn't the program I was accustomed to, so it's like, why would you just assume that someone can't draw because they don't understand a certain program? Because I've been drawing in Photoshop for a while before that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like, I have been, sketch drawing all my life, but I only started doing digital art a few years ago, and I look at my first pieces, and they fucking suck.
Oh, I know, right? I just look
first,
at pieces from a few years ago, and it's just like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, reading some of my writing from, like, 9th grade and stuff
we don't
like
talk
that.
about that. We don't talk about that time period.
Yep. That moment when you realize, oh, I wasn't as brilliant as I thought I was.
What do you think of my sand? You know, it's funny, I just remembered I have a friend of mine that really likes Sonic. I'm totally sending this to her later.
Lol. Oh god. I kind of did my job as a mod poorly last night, but I at least did my job as a mod, which was, there was a picture of fucking, somebody did like an inflation picture of Sonic and posted it on the Aux, and like, I didn't even take the time to look who sent it. I just deleted that thing, and I was like, shit, I should have figured out who sent it so that, like, they can be told not to post that shit. But it's just like, like...
That's a whole other level of cringe. I mean, the ultimate in cringe when it comes to Sonic is Chris Chan, if we want to get into that fucking rabbit hole. Okay,
so, if you don't mind, because I hear his name, I know he's a thing. What is this tale of Chris Chan? Who is this creature of whom men speak with hushed tones?
How many hours do we have?
You have...
No. I'm kidding. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here for that whole time, but the short answer of it is Chris Chan was someone that was both a victim and also a bad person that got amplified by the things that happened to them.
Okay, so...
They were... From what I understand, it was like they originally were found through something awful because of the posters they were hanging up around their college. And then 4chan found him, and it was just like a matter of like system. A lot of it was just like bullying and taking advantage of someone who was obviously very not even just autistic, but also sheltered in terms of like their upbringing and things. It was like a whole thing, and there's entire wikis devoted to looking into the history of that. But
well, like I intentionally didn't look into it after I saw a video from Tenman where, like, I got hints of some of it, but it's just like there's a beginning to the story, and I don't want to go looking for it.
no, you don't. You really don't.
But I am still just tormented by the curiosity.
That's the thing about it. It's like it's both horrific and cringeworthy to look at, but it's also just like a fascinating look and case study as to how the internet is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, then we'll leave it at that. That
Yeah.
sufficiently answers my question. So, somebody who should have not been allowed to embarrass themselves on the internet, who was then allowed to embarrass themselves on the internet.
Basically, yeah. There's if anyone wants to get an idea of it, there's a Down the Rabbit Hole video about Chris Chan that gets into some of it. Doesn't explain what the recent things have happened, which are things so fucked up I don't really want to talk about them on here.
You see, that's the thing, is I only know about the recent things, so like
Yeah.
my brain was like, fucking context, please.
Yeah. Yeah, well that was like the culmination of years of shit, honestly. At least from my perspective. I'm not really into researching Chris Chan.
Yeah, no, like... Again, like I said, morbid curiosity, but probably not actually a rabbit hole worth going
Oh
down.
god. I'm making Sonic if he was in Sling Blade right now. Man, French fat biter. Rate my Sonic OC. I think I have an idea for a profile picture now.
There was a show for a while, I don't know if it's still active in the Brony community, called Your OC Sucks and You Should Feel Bad. And what they would do is they would actually, look at people's original characters, and they wouldn't actually lay into them that hard. That was just the title of it.
Yeah.
But to their credit, I realized, that's why that's the title, is so that anybody who's too sensitive to actual criticism won't be there for the reason that they think it's going to be far worse than it actually is.
Yeah.
But it's also because, like, a third of the Brony community is aware of just how cringe it is. A third is sort of aware, and then another third is completely unaware.
Yeah.
And so that community has a lot of self-policing that goes on.
I would imagine. Believe it or not, I was like a brony for like a week, and then I was like, wait, why am I doing this? No offense.
No,
it's not really for me.
It's fine.
A
big portion of it is morbid curiosity and the desire to troll.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because, like, there's a lot of people who become bronies as a joke and then sort of get sucked in.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I used to ironically use the word bruh, and then at some point it stopped being ironic, and I suddenly realized I had committed a terrible sin upon myself.
I use bruh a lot. It's more just like in a situation that's warranted.
Yeah.
This is so cursed. I love it.
This is like the most, like, upsettingly mucho gusta kind of face I've ever seen.
Right? I just realized it. I was like, me gusta.
Mucho gusta.
You know how to make it even more unsettling?
How to make it even what?
Even more unsettling?
Oh, I thought you said even more incestuous, and I'm like, ah.
Oh, God!
I mean, it already looks like the product of that. Do we really have to go into the explied and not the implied?
I love the Sonic version of Deliverance, I'm just gonna say.
What was that? Looks like it's old M. Preg Greg over there with his gang of pregnant fellers.
Ugh.
Tread carefully. Can't say I'm in a forgiving mood since I'm a 9 months pregnant man with no uterus to speak of. Oh god, yeah.
This is horrific. I love it. Just me in chat with this extreme close-up.
Oh god.
Samick. Samick the Hedgehog. He's beautiful.
Trudge.
The eyeshadow really brings out something, doesn't it?
Oh god, I just... Christ, that's cursed.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing something fun with this later.
There's some Docu Mafia shit going on there.
Make it a sticker.
Wanna buy a body pillow.
Oh god. Can you imagine getting a body pillow and this comes in the mail?
Oh god. I think we have a cursed gift to send someone.
Hey, Tex.
Oh god, no! Not Tex, we love him.
No, this would be like... You'd just be like, why?
What is wrong with my fan base?
I actually, if I want to see anyone's face when they see this, I feel like Goat would probably appreciate it the most.
You're just like, yep.
I know the circles he's been in. I know what 4chan is like. I could do more to it, but I don't know if I want to... I don't know if I can improve upon perfection. Ooh. I think I'm good on that. I think we're good on Samick for now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shannon. If you play this on video, your graphics card's gonna explode.
Buy Sonic, kids. Buy Sonic. Oh man. On that note, I think I kind of want to call it here, just because I've got a podcast to record later, and I want to get some dinner. So, if we're good here, all right.
I'm good here.
All right. Well, hey, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Abs.
Yes. And we hope to see you again. We'll be starting in about 45 minutes on Persona 5. And
right on.
See y'all there.
See y'all later. Bye, Sonic, kids.